Hello, my name is jahg and welcome back to the next installment of jahg Teaches Java. Now, at the end of the previous example, we were tweaking our existing plugin, which at that moment, allowed us to create new lists and remove lists from individual players' data files here. So that's a list. There's an empty list that follows it. In the previous example, we added this one additional command to view the lists so that it could pull out a given list based on the user's choice, and it would display the items within it on the screen in-game. If the list was empty, it displayed an empty list, which is appropriate. Now the next thing we want to do is the rest of the commands, these two, to add new items, to remove existing items from the list, and to view a list without specifying the name of one. All of those rely on an earlier command called select list. Now this is going to allow us to basically have a two-step process to each command. It allows you to say select a thing first, that's one command, and then do this operation on it, which is another command. Now lots of plugins use this as a way of, you start the command running, you select a couple of points, then you finish the command with another command, and it remembers this whole process that you took. So in a sense, that's what we want. We want to remember the list they pick so that we can use it in these three other ways. Now, I'm only going to focus on selecting a list today. It is a very small piece of code. I already have the framework for it right here. And all I need to do is basically the same things we've done before. To select a list, I first need to make sure that that list exists. Well, I already had somewhere a piece of code that checks if a list exists. I don't know where I put it to mind. In here, yes, here we go. This little bit of code checks to see if a list exists. So I'm going to borrow that code. In fact, I'm going to borrow all of this code and just trim out the bits I don't need. It's not plagiarism if it's your own work, so copy and paste is your friend. So once again, we know that args1 is the list name that they've asked for. arg0 is the actual command, so select list and then a list name is how it's going to work. We then need to just store, I don't even need to do any of that, I just need to do two things. I need to store the name of the selected list. In my hash map this time, each player can only select one list at a time. They can have millions, but they can select only one, and therefore they can only work on one at a time. So I need to store that, and also I need to send a message to the user to say it's been selected. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. So let's get on with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hash map, which I called selected lists. Remember, you put items into a hash map. It's going to require two strings. The first is a key value, sorry, the key, which is the player's name. So I think I've got player here that I can use get name on directly. That's the key because it's guaranteed unique. The actual name of the list is what goes next because we know it exists because of this if statement. If is list and then the name they gave, then put it into our selected lists. Now, that just allows us to, it doesn't do anything visual on the screen, it just allows us to use it from other commands. The one thing I would like to do here is to add a message that tells the user that they have actually selected one. So we'll have a message on screen that says you have selected the list called, and then we'll have the name of that list right there. Again, we can use args1, no need to modify it, so there we are. That will do. So we've now grabbed the list, or at least the name of the list, and we've saved it in our hash map. And then we've displayed a message to the user saying, thank you, we've done it. Now, there's one thing I would like to do here. If there was an error, as well as saying you have no list called whatever, I would also like to blank it out, because I think, just in case something's gone wrong with it, oh, that's not how you do it, it's selected lists.put. Just in case something goes wrong with the plugin, I want to just, have something that's going to default to being null in this case. Remember, null means it removes the value from the actual list itself. Null is a good value for us to actually check whether they've added an item as well. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so that seems reasonable. That's how we're going to do our select list subcommand. Now if I build this and give it a quick test, so whilst that's building, I'll start up this, and it's built, so there we go. I'm just going to copy this item, put it in here, get the login on the go. I'm going to reload the server, so nothing shows up here. It's all an in-game thing. So at the moment I've got this in my data file. So if I log into the game, just move that down a bit so you can see it. If I log into this game, go here, we should see, there we are, oh, we should see some pigs and such. Now if I do my lists, select list, and then, I don't know, anything else, honk. It should say you have no list called honk. That is very true, because we have only test and bacon. If I try it again with test, it works. If I try it again with bacon, it works. Now the way this hash map is working is it's only storing the last one, which is good, because that's what we want to work on. So far we have a working piece of code. Thank you very much for watching. Next time we will be doing the new item and remove item commands. Thank you very much.